rain finally stopped. The city looked different after the storm. Streetlights reflected across the pavement like broken pieces of another world. The roads were empty except for me and the memories I couldn't leave behind. It's funny how rain can wash away everything except the things you actually want gone. Some nights feel heavier than others. After the rain, your name still lingers. After the rain, the city still remembers. After the rain, every road leads somewhere, but somehow they all lead back to you. 3 years have passed since we stopped talking. 3 years of pretending certain songs didn't hurt, certain places didn't matter, certain memories didn't still exist. But tonight, the city feels honest, yeah, and honesty hurts. Everybody says time heals wounds, but nobody tells you how slowly it moves, how random moments bring everything back. A song on the radio, a familiar street, a name in your contacts you never deleted, a goodbye you never completed. The windshield cleared, the clouds moved on. After the rain, I thought I'd forgotten, but some stories refuse to disappear. Wrong turn. I wasn't paying attention, just driving, letting the city decide where to take me. Then suddenly I recognize the street, the small cafe, the old bookstore, the traffic light where we used to wait for no reason at all. Some places remember us better than people do. The street we knew, still glowing under neon lights. The street we knew, still holding pieces of our lives. The street we knew, frozen somewhere in time while everything else changed. I parked nearby and walked for a while, past familiar windows, past old conversations, past versions of ourselves that no longer existed, yet somehow still lived here in reflections and silence. Funny how cities work, they archive emotions, store old moments in hidden locations. One corner, one building, one late night drive, and suddenly a forgotten memory survives. Rainwater shimmered under the street lights. The street we knew still feels a little like home. Wrong turn. Open shine glowing, open shine glowing. The cafe was still open somehow, despite the hour, despite the weather. The same corner table still sat near the window. The same place where we planned futures neither of us reached. Some dreams survive longer than relationships. Same cafe, new year, different lives. Same cafe, same memories, different eyes. Same cafe, and suddenly the distance doesn't feel so far. I ordered your favorite drink without thinking. Old habits move faster than logic. The cup arrived, and for a second it felt like you might walk in like nothing had changed. But life ain't movies, life ain't scenes. People leave even when they don't mean to. And time keeps moving whether we're ready or not. Still, a small part of me waited. The door opened, someone walked inside. Same cafe, and my heart skipped once. The impossible happened. Yeah, the impossible happened. I looked up slowly, almost afraid to be disappointed, but there you were, standing in the doorway, raincoat dripping, eyes searching the room until they found mine. Neither of us moved for a moment. 3 years disappeared in 3 seconds. Not a stranger, not anymore. Not after everything we survived before. Not a stranger, even after all this time. Some connections never completely fade. Yeah, you smile first, the same smile. I remember the same smile. I spent years trying to forget, and suddenly the city outside didn't matter anymore. Yeah. No dramatic music, no movie scene, just 2 people staring across the room, trying to process what reality means when it arrives, looking exactly like a memory. You walk closer, the rain kept falling. Not a stranger, just someone I never truly lost. Still talking, still talking. The cafe grew quieter around us. Chairs stacked, lights dim, employees cleaning, while we remain lost in conversation, trying to fit 3 missing years into a single night. Some silences need time to heal. One coffee, one more story, one more chance to understand. One more coffee before the night ends, before reality returns. You told me about cities I never visited, dreams you chased, roads you followed, mistakes you made, and somehow every answer created new questions I wanted to ask. 3 years apart, yet somehow familiar, like two chapters from the same book meeting again. After a long pause, trying to understand what comes next. Outside, the rain finally ended. One more coffee, and suddenly I don't want this night to end. "2:38 a.m. The question finally came. We sat quietly for a moment, watching headlights slide past the cafe window. Neither of us wanted to reopen no wounds, but eventually the silence asked what both of us avoided. Why did we end? 3 years later, the answer still hurts. Some questions never really disappear. The night you left still lives inside my memory. The night you left, like a movie I never finished. The night you left, I thought losing you was the end of everything. It wasn't one fight, it wasn't one mistake, just two people breaking slowly under pressures. Neither understood dreams moving in opposite directions. Conversations becoming shorter, distance becoming longer, until one day we stopped reaching for each other. Nobody cheated, nobody lied, nobody slammed doors or screamed goodbye. Sometimes love fades under heavy skies, and the saddest endings are the quiet kind. No villains, no heroes, no one to blame, just two people changing, and not staying the same. The city outside continued moving. The night you left wasn't dramatic, that's what made it hurt more. Rainwater on the glass. You spoke softly about those years, the jobs you took, the cities you moved through, the nights you spent trying to become someone you could be proud of, and listening to you, I realized we weren't the same people anymore. Maybe that wasn't a bad thing. Different roads, different dreams, different versions of who we used to be. Different roads, yet somehow they brought us back here tonight. I told you my story too. The failures, the long drives, the lonely apartments, the plans that collapsed, the lessons learned, the pieces rebuilt one by one when nobody was watching. Growing up looks different than expected. Less fireworks, more reflection, less certainty, more mistakes, more nights wondering if you're doing enough. But somehow every wrong turn still teaches something. The rain softened against the windows. Different roads, maybe we needed them. A dangerous question. You laugh quietly and ask, do you ever wonder what would have happened if we stayed together? The room fell silent for a moment. Neither of us ready for the answer. Some possibilities never stop existing. If we had stayed, would we still be happy? If we had stayed, would we still be us? If we had stayed, would we have survived the people we became? Maybe we would've made it, maybe we wouldn't. Maybe love alone was never enough. Maybe timing mattered more than feelings. Maybe growing apart was part of growing up. Everybody imagines the road not taking bills perfect and is inside their imagination. But real life ain't that simple. Every choice creates a different version of who we become, and maybe that's okay. The cafe lights dim lower. The cafe lights dim lower. If we had stayed, we would've never learned who we are now. J44 AM. Last customers. The conversation changed, less about the past, more about tonight, more about now, more about the fact that after everything, after all the distance and all the years, we were still sitting here talking like old friends who never stopped caring. Some connections survive without permission. Still here after all the seasons changed. Still here after every road we traveled. Still here, and somehow that means something. The city looked different through the window now. Not because it changed, but because I had 4 years. I carry regret like extra luggage, never realizing I could put it down. Maybe closure ain't about answers. Maybe closure is understanding. People are mistakes, relationships aren't failures. Sometimes they're chapters that teach us how to continue. Morning felt closer than midnight now. Still here, and finally at peace. For 12 AM. The city was quiet. The cafe closed, so we started walking past empty streets, past glowing traffic lights, past reflections left behind by the storm. The air felt cleaner after the rain, like the city itself had been forgiven. Some nights change everything. Before sunrise, the world feels honest. Before sunrise, nothing left to hide. Before sunrise, two people standing between what was and what could be. Yeah, we reached the river and stopped for a while, watching lights dance across the water. Neither of us rushing, neither of us certain what tomorrow meant, but somehow that uncertainty didn't feel frightening anymore. Yeah, used to think every story needed endings, clear answers, perfect conclusions. Now I know life prefers questions. Yeah, and sometimes the bravest thing is simply staying long enough to see what happens next. The first bird sang somewhere nearby. Before sunrise, I stopped looking backward for the first time in years. Gone, the city was glowing, and somehow, so were we. River lights, the city reflected softly across the water, while neither of us spoke for a while. Not because there was nothing left to say, but because some words take years to find their way out. The silence felt different now, not awkward, not heavy, just honest. Some truths arrive late, but still arrive. What we never said stayed between us for years. What we never said lived inside unfinished conversations. What we never said finally found a voice in the middle of the night. Admitted you almost called more times than you could count. Drafted messages, then deleted them, watched my name sit quietly on your screen, wondering if enough time had already passed. And hearing that hurt more than I expected, because I did the same. Two phones, two cities, two separate lives, same hesitation, different nights. Funny how pride can disguise itself as caution. Funny how fear can look like wisdom when really it's just fear. The water moves slowly below us, but we never said almost became forever. The sky getting lighter, the sky getting lighter. The stars were fading one by one, making room for morning. The same way the past was slowly making room for something new. Neither of us wanted the night to end, not yet, not after waiting 3 years for this conversation. Sometimes healing needs a little more time. Stay a little longer, the city can't wait. Stay a little longer, morning isn't here yet. Stay a little longer, still so much I wanna know about the person you've become. Smile, looking toward the horizon and ask me questions nobody asked before. Not about achievements or plans, but about happiness, about peace, about weather. I finally forgave myself for old mistakes. Growing older changes the questions. Less about success, more about meaning. Less about proving, more about understanding. And somehow that conversation felt more important than anything we talked about before. The city lights dimmed as daylight approached. Stay a little longer before the night becomes a memory. "5:26 a.m. A different feeling. For years I imagined this moment. Thought it would be dramatic. Thought it would arrive with certainty, with answers, with signs. But reality was much quieter. Two people walking through a waking city, choosing honesty one step at a time. Maybe that's enough. Second chapter, not a restart, not a rewrite. Second chapter, just two people meeting again with wiser hearts. Second chapter, maybe love grows differently the second time. We weren't trying to recreate the past. That version of us belongs somewhere else instead. We talked about now, about tomorrow, about possibilities that didn't exist 3 years ago. Life ain't books, you can't turn back pages. Can't erase mistakes or skip hard stages. But maybe that's the beauty of growing older, learning how to carry scars without letting them control you. Morning colors appeared across the skyline. The second chapter, built on truth instead of fear. First sunlight, the skyline turned cold slowly, building by building, window by window. The city awakening beneath the sky that looked completely different than it did when this night began. And somehow, so did we. Some storms leave gifts behind. Sunrise over the city, After all the rain, sunrise over the city. After all the waiting, sunrise over the city. Proof that ends can become beginnings. Yeah, we stood quietly, watching the light spread across streets we once walked together. And it felt strange, realizing that neither of us needed the past anymore to appreciate the present. Used to chase closure, used to chase answers, used to think healing needed perfection. Now I know healing looks simpler, standing beside someone without resentment, and feeling grateful they're still here. The sun climbed higher above the skyline. Sunrise over the city. And everything feels lighter. Six or 2 a.m. morning. The city was fully awake. Cars filled the streets, coffee shops open. People hurried toward ordinary days, completely unaware that somewhere 2 people had spent the night finding their way back, not to the past, but to each other. Some journeys take longer than expected. After the rain, the sky feels clearer. After the rain, the road feels wider. After the rain, you realize some storms arrive to teach you what matters most. Yeah. We reached the corner where our paths separated. The moment that once would have scared me, but now it felt different, because this wasn't goodbye, not anymore, just the beginning of whatever came next. No promises, no fairy tale ending, no guarantees about tomorrow. Just 2 people choosing presence, choosing honesty, choosing to see where the road leads. And sometimes it's more beautiful than certainty. The morning breeze moved gently through the city. Something I thought was lost. After the rain, not the person, not the memory, but hope of